Hello fellow beaders, Mona West here. Today I'm going to show you how to make this set, which I'm calling Dark Nebula, and it features the new the Silky beads. If you've been wanting to try them, this is my first design using them, and I really enjoyed them. You can make either the bracelet or earrings or both. Basically, it's just making one component and then doing it over and over again, but I'll show you how to connect them for the bracelet or how to finish the earring. I've also will show you how to make the attachment for the clasp on the bracelet. I've made my own toggle clasp here, but with what I show you, you can use most any kind of clasp that you want. So I hope you enjoy the tutorial. Okay, here's what you're going to need for this project. First, you'll need some mini duos, some 2mm fire polish beads, some 11/0 seed beads, some 8/0 seed beads, some 2-hole silky beads, and some 6mm fire polish beads. If you'd like to know what I'm making this one out of, I'm using opaque olive bronze Vega for the mini duos. The 2mm fire polish beads are oxidized bronze clay. The 11/0 seed beads are matte metallic Nebula, and the 11/0 seed the 8/0 seed beads are also the same. They're matte metallic Nebula. The 2-hole silky beads are dark amethyst travertine, and the 6mm fire polish beads are cobalt. Alright, gather your supplies and we'll get going. The only other things that you'll need are a beading needle and some beading thread. I am using Fireline 6-pound, 0.006 diameter. A lot of the beads in this project are pretty large, so you could even go a little higher and probably use an 8 or even a 10-pound if you wanted to. Okay, what we're going to do first is pick up a mini duo and a fire polish, a mini duo and a fire polish, a mini duo and a fire polish, and a mini duo and a fire polish. So now what we have on our needle, if this last one will cooperate, is 4 fire polish and 4 mini duos. So then we're going to bring them down to within 6 inches or so of our tail, and we're going to tie a knot. For round 2, we're going to pass our needle up through the second hole of the mini duo that we are coming out of. And then we are going to pick up another mini duo, a silky bead, and another mini duo. And then we are going to go through the second hole of the next mini duo and pull tight. Throughout this step, it helps if you hold on to your beadwork with your thumb like this. It's going to continue to be fairly wobbly because these are all 2-hole beads we're working with in this round, and we're just going through the first hole of some of them, and so it's going to be pretty loose. You want to hold on to it fairly tightly. Then we're going to repeat that step. We pick up a mini duo and a silky bead, and I want to show you here on picking up the silky beads, you want to, there's kind of a ridge on the top. There's a top and a bottom to these beads. You want to make sure you have the top up, and so there's kind of a ridge down the middle. And then you want to be going through the bottom holes of the Silky beads. So top up and go through that bottom hole so that it looks like this. And then you pick up another mini duo and you go through the next mini duo from the first round. Pull it nice and snug as you can. All right, get twisted a little bit. There we go. All right, so this is what it looks like now. So I'm going to be going from this mini duo over to this next one. So again, I repeat, I pick up a mini duo. I pick up a Silky bead. They want to scoot around on me. And a mini duo. And then I go through the top hole of the mini duo from the last round. And pull tight. And you'll notice they tend to twist around a little bit because, like I said, they are pretty loose. So you just have to untwist them and get them nice and tight. All right, so now we have finished 3 of the 4 sides. So now we're going to do the last one. We pick up a mini duo, we pick up a Silky bead, and I need one more mini duo. There it is. And then we're going to go through the just the 4th hole of the mini duo from the previous row. Pull tight. Untwist and then pull tight. Okay, so if I can lay it down so you can see it more clearly. This is what you'll have at this point. Okay, we're now coming out of the top hole of this mini duo. So we are going to go through the next mini duo, which we added in the last round. And for this next round, we are now going to begin by passing through the 2nd hole of that mini duo. Pull it tight. Okay, now I'm going to flip my work over, which I'm going to have to do carefully because it is still pretty loose. Pull it tight again. Okay, now I'm going to be going in this direction, which is my preferred way. So now we're going to start filling in those 2nd holes, making it a little sturdier. And we're going to start by putting an 11-0 between the top hole on these 2 mini duos. Pull tight. That's what you'll have. So now we're coming out of that 2nd mini duo, and now we're going to take and we're going to add an 11-0, an 8-0, an 11-0, and we're going to go into the top hole on the Silky bead. Turn my work a little bit. Trying to keep it as tight as I can. Alright, so that's what you have. Now that we're coming out of the other side of that Silky bead, we are once again going to add an 8-0, excuse me, an 11-0, an 8-0, an 11-0, and we're going to go into the top hole of the next mini duo. pull tight. Now we're between the mini duos, so we're going to add an 11-0, pull tight. Now we're going to go around the next silky bead again, so we're going to take an 11-0, an 8-0, an 11-0, and go through the top hole of the silky bead. Turn a bit. Alright, another 11-0, 8-0, 11-0, and we're going to go through the top hole of the next mini duo. So now we've gone around two of the corners, this one and this one. Now we're heading into our third corner. So first we're going to take an 11-0 and go between the two mini duos. My thread caught a bit. It's easy to do on anything where you have corners. There we go. Alright, now we're going around the next silky, so an 11, an 8, and an 11 through the top hole. And repeat that. An 11, an 8, and an 11, and in through the first mini duo, pull tight, put an 11-0 between the two mini duos, and now we're going to go around the last of the silkies. So an 11, an 8, an 11, and through the top hole. An 11, an 8, an 11, and into the next mini duo. And there you have completed the next round. Okay, so now we're going to do the last round for this component, and basically what we're going to be doing is filling in these corners. So we're here and right there, and we need to get up to the next 8-0 going this way. So we need to pass all the way up through and get over to this corner. So all we're going to do is just go through as many beads as you're comfortable, a couple at a time. And the reason we have to go over to that next corner is be able to show you here. See this, if we tried to do it here, we'd be going back against the grain. We want to be having our thread coming out to the right. So we have to go up to the next place where we can come out of an 8 and have that happen. I got myself caught. Here. Okay, so now we're coming out of an 8, And what we're going to be doing is going across to this next 8. So now on 2 of the corners, while I talk, I'm going to pull this knot out. On 2 of the corners, I'm going to be putting Silky beads, and on the other 2, I'm going to be putting fire polish beads. That does not want to come off. I'm going to come off camera here, out of camera range for a moment. Okay, for the last round, we are going to fill in these corners. So I'm now coming out of an 8-0, going this way. So now we're going to, on 2 of them, we're going to fill in with Silky beads, and with the other 2, we're going to fill in with the 6mm fire polish. So I'm going to start with the 6mm fire polish. That'll be simplest to show you, I think. So we just string one on, put one on our needle, and then we're going from this 8-0 through this 8-0. Okay, simple as that. Just fill in that corner. And then we're going to go back through the 11-0 and the upper hole of the Silky, the next 11-0, and the next 8-0. And I'm not going to be able to do that all in one pass. I guess I did get it in one pass. Okay, so now on this corner, I'm going to put in a Silky. So again, I've got it with the ridge facing up, and I'm going through the lower hole. And I'm going to go into the 8-0 in the next corner and pull tight. We will be going back through around this to reinforce it, because you'll probably feel at this point it's still pretty loose. Okay, so now we're going to go through the 11-0 and the Silky. And then through the 11-0 and the 8-0. So now we're going to put another 6mm fire polish on and go from the 8-0 to the 8-0. At this point, you have 3 of your corners done, and what you do next depends on what you're making. If you're making an earring, you're going to go ahead and put a 4th Silky on. Or if this is the first or last component of a bracelet, if you are making a bracelet and this is not the first or last component, you're going to only put 3 on, because the bracelet is going to be connected at that corner. And so what you would do instead is bring in your previous component, and this time you would go through that instead of a single Silky. But I'm going to be showing you this as though it were a first component, or if you're making an earring out of it. So I'm going to go through the next 11-0 and the Silky. Pull it tight, 11-0 and 8. And now I'm going to put my 4th corner on with my last Silky. And then go through the 8-0 in the last corner. Alright, so this is what you're going to have now. At this point, what you should do is first go around the whole perimeter again to reinforce it, and then this is a good time to go ahead and get rid of your tail thread. Just take and weave it around that inner circle again and then cut it off. So go ahead and do that, and then we'll proceed. If you're going to make the component into an earring, I would suggest going around it 2 or 3 times at least, just to make it a little firmer. Back up here a little bit. And then what you're going to do once you have done that is you want to be coming out of one of the silky beads, and you're going to take 3 of your number 11s. And so you're coming out of the bottom hole here. So what you want to do is you want to go through the top hole. And what we're doing now is we're going to be making the bottom of the earring. And the bottom and the top are going to be similar up to a certain point. So now on the other side, we're going to again take another 3 of your 11-Os and go through the bottom hole. Just through the bottom hole, don't catch any of the beads on either side. I'm going to turn it over. Alright, so this is what you have now. So now you want to go up through the 3 seed beads that you put on in the last step. And once again, go through that top hole. Now you want to take an 11-O, a 2mm fire polish, an 11-O, and you're going to go through the top hole, just the top hole. And so when you're done, this is what you have. So that makes a nice bottom for the earring. Alright, now we're going to go back down through the 3 11-Os on the side, and through the bottom hole of that silky bead, and pull the whole thing tight. Alright, now next you're going to weave your way back up to the top silky bead. Once you're up at the other end of your silky bead, you're going to repeat what you did down below. At the bottom, you're going to pick up 3 of your 11-Os. If I can find 3 of them, that'll cooperate. I'm going to turn this over so I'm facing the right way. So I'm coming out of the bottom of the silky. I'm going to go through the top. And I'm going to turn it. So we've added 3 more. Now we're going to go through the bottom of the silky. Pull it tight. Turn it over again. Go up through the 3 that we added before. And go back through that top hole. Pull tight. And then again we're going to add an 11-O, a 2mm fire polish, and an 11-O, and go just through the top hole. So now we have mirrors the bottom, but this is the point where we're going to do something a little different. So now we are going to add on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 11-Os, and we're going to go back in the top hole of the Silky, and then we're going to go up and we're going to go just through the 7 that we just added. Get that last one in there. Nope, didn't want to go. Alright, I'm just gonna one more step here. Okay, go through the last one, and then I'm going to go back through the Silky again. Alright, and that completes the earring. All you would need to do would be to add on an ear wire, and you are done. And now I'd like to show you how to turn your components into a bracelet. As you can see, I finished this component except for the last corner, and as I mentioned before, you're going to leave that last corner off if you're making it into a bracelet, because that's going to be shared between the two components. So you've got your second hole on your Silky here, and so what you're going to do is just pick your pieces up. Let me get this so that I can work with it a little more easily. You're coming out of your 8/0. You're going to go through the second hole on the Silky from the previous component, and then turning it again here, you are going to go in through the 8/0 on the other side, and pull it tight. Now what you need to do at this point is to go all the way around, come back up through here in order to reinforce it. Preparing to add a clasp to the bracelet is similar to adding the ends onto the earrings. First, you're going to take 3 number 11s and go from the bottom hole up to the top hole. Pull it through, and then repeat on the other side. Add 3 number 11s. Put it through the bottom hole. And then go back up through the 3 11s that you added on the first side. And go through the top hole. Pull tight. Now at this point you can add on any number of seed beads that you need in order to attach the clasp. So here's the clasp that I put on. I'll zoom in a bit for you. So I did the 3 beads on either side, and then I added 6 beads for the stem to make the circular part of the clasp, the toggle clasp. And so there is my finished bracelet. It would be about the same for any kind of clasp you put on, probably 3 on either side, and then whatever kind of clasp you're going to add you could put right there.